you a question to start with. So for those of you that are here, if you want to pop into the chat any of your main challenges you found in meeting the PAL legislation requirements. So main challenges, ideas, successes. Reason for this is because PAL nationally is still quite low. We're the same really, and so we're just trying to figure out how we can help you better. So any challenges, anything that you want to add in, and say hi to everyone, of course, in the chat, and introduce yourself and stuff as well. Paul, good to hear you've been using the videos. I'm sure one of the team is currently looking on our website to post the link to the videos, Claire, so you've got them. Thanks, yeah, I knew one of you would be. You're amazing. So we'll post the link to that on there. I think there's 4 or 5 different videos. I'd say they're a good plan B, but aren't the most meaningful plan A. But nonetheless, they're useful, and they're just being updated to meet the meaningful criteria as well. So there'll be that pre and post bits going on there as well. Emily, writing your PAL policy tomorrow. That is an exciting day for you. So good luck with that. There is examples to save you quite a bit of work. There is on the legislation, there is an example PAL policy. So that might help you out. So have a little look for that, save you doing it from scratch.
Hyla, I've also written a PAL example one for special schools, so I can send that over to her.
Fab, perfect. Thank you, Charlie. Brilliant.
Apparently I've already sent it. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Amazing, and you didn't realise.
You're that good.
Yeah. Keith, new starter, welcome to the careers family that we have. So I have no doubt you'll get some great support from everyone here and also from the team as well. We've got some different resources going on there, providers coming in. We've got D, I think it is, who's also new to careers. So again, welcome. Who else we got? Use template. Good, Claire. Good to hear you use the template. Great. So anything else that you have, say, by putting it into the chat, we're just trying to get a bit of a better idea of what some of your main challenges are around meeting PAL legislation, and therefore where we can help. And obviously we're aware that ask is no longer an option this year. I suppose just to update you on ask, all the resources that ask used to offer will be, in fact it might even be there already, but will be available on the Amazing Apprenticeship website for you to still deliver the content, but of course it won't come under PAL anymore. So we're just seeing where we can help with that as well. So any other bits that you've got, any other challenges or ideas or suggestions or anything, please do add them into the chat and we'll pick them up and then see how we can best support. Let me just see. Carly's coming in. Oh, Carly, you have got in. That's good news. I was just seeing if you was here or not. So we're going to get going because obviously we know you've probably had a long couple of week and a half already at the start of term, although it's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant to see so many different things on, particularly on LinkedIn actually, where we've been seeing that you've been doing bits already and posting stuff on there, so really fantastic to see. Just so everyone's aware, we will be recording this, so if you don't want to appear on the recording, then do turn off your cameras, although obviously it's fabulous to see you all. If you've got any questions or comments or anything as we're going through, do pop them in the chat, and Adam, Laura and Charlie are going to be keeping an eye on that and answering it hopefully as we go along. There'll also be a bit of time at the end for any questions that you've got for us as well. Yeah, so do pop anything in the chat as we're going. Just as sort of essentially really just to welcome everyone back to this academic year. I know we've got some new faces, and thank you for introducing yourself in the chat. We've got some I'm not going to say older faces, I'm going to say established in their roles people in there as well, and you've got pretty much the same bunch from us at the moment, at least from the Careers Hub. So for those of you who don't know me, my name's Hyla Grinwade. I'm the Strategic Hub Lead for the Greater Essex Careers Hub. We also have Carly Smith, who was Enterprise Coordinator last year, but has been promoted up to one of our operational hub leads. We've got Laura Bramley, Adam Mendries and Charlie Harris, who are Enterprise Coordinators, and Sarah I thought is on annual leave today actually, so she's not here, but she's our Careers Hub assistant as well. So and we also have Maddie Hardy-King, who you would have come across, I'm sure some of you as well. Again, she's on annual leave this week, but we'll be talking more about her role a little bit as we go through, because that's changed slightly this year. So we're going to take you through for, I don't really know how long it's going to last, maybe about half hour, just some updates, some info, some opportunities that are coming your way. Both myself and Carly will be take it in turns to cover a few different elements of the presentation, and then, as I say, any questions you've got, any comments, any great stuff that you've been hearing about or that you've been doing, do post it in the chat as well to keep that conversation going there as well. So let me press on here to kick us off. So welcome to our first termly kickoff. So these have come about as an idea actually that we've pinched from the Kent Hub, Kent Careers Hub, and they do this each term, and it's working really brilliantly for them. So we're going to be doing this as a termly kickoff every term. For the next 2 terms, the dates will be coming through to you, but the next one will be I think 12th of January, I think it is. What we're going to cover today is some changes to our staff structure within the Greater Essex Careers Hub, and how that's going to impact on you guys for the schools and colleges. Quick little reminder of the Gatsby review, a little bit on modern work experience, and in particular an opportunity that's available to mainly our mainstream schools. A little bit about the different training that's available for you through the Careers Leader Academy, and a reminder of the power really of the Future Skills Questionnaire. So that's our plan, and then, as I say, there'll be plenty of time at the end as well for any questions that you've got too. So first of all, why have we introduced these termly kickoffs? So the main reason is because it will then free up some time within your localised careers leader meetings. So what we've realised, for those of you that go along to our careers leader meetings, that probably at least half of that time is spent with sort of information sharing with you really. So what will happen now is that information part will be within these termly kickoffs, and it means that you can really maximise the time that you've got within your careers leader network meetings to share ideas, to work on specific areas of work, to look at specific topics, to hear from providers and employers. So the information part will be here. It will also mean that more people can join us, because it's usually easier to jump onto a webinar than it is to get yourself out of schools. It'll also be recorded, and that will be put onto our website and sent out tomorrow in a follow-up email to you, so that you can watch it back if you need to, or forward it on to anyone else within your school setting as well. And it gives us a chance in the chat for you guys to interact with people that perhaps aren't in your local area, so you don't normally see them as part of your Careers Leader Network meetings as well. So I say do really use that chat function that we've got there too. that's why we've introduced these termly kickoffs, and it'll be great to get some feedback from you guys at the end as well, just to see what you think of them too. I'm gonna hopefully, so long as her power has now returned, hand over to Carly to talk you through a few changes to our staffing structure. Or maybe I'm not.
Doesn't look like Carly's back yet.
Is she not back? Right. So in which case, I'm going to talk you through the slight changes we've got to our staffing structure. Apologies, Carly. Just literally just before this meeting had a power cut, which meant that all of our Wi-Fi and everything's gone down. So I'll until she jumps on the call, I'll take over. So we have changed our careers hub structure slightly this year, based on, well, it's quite substantially actually, based on feedback that we've had from mainly from education, from you guys, and what it does in this change of structure is it really helps target some of our support more, especially around disadvantaged young people in the schools that are supporting them, and much more on our employers as well, because that's something that the feedback has really shown to us, is that that support with engaging employers and getting more employers into this careers landscape is super important. So whereas before we had enterprise coordinators that were within different geographical patches across the county, and worked with employers and worked with schools, and essentially had to be a bit of a jack of all trades, whilst they were amazing at doing that, what we've done now is changed up our team slightly. So we're going to have an education team and an employer team. So you will still absolutely have an enterprise coordinator who will not be delivering one-to-one meetings with you anymore, but will be focusing on delivering different work streams, different events, webinars, and group support really more. And then that will then in turn, because those enterprise education team enterprise coordinators will have bigger caseloads of schools. So what that does is it's freed up 2 people within our team who will be focusing on employers. So listening to that feedback that you guys have given us, they'll be working behind the scenes to build the relationships with the local businesses, the national employers as well, and so that there's that steady pipeline of opportunities for you guys as careers leaders, but also for your schools as well. And of course, we, as part of our education team, we still have Charlie, who is our SEND specialist enterprise coordinator, and our alternative provisions will also be supported by Charlie this year as well. Charlie has made some amazing impact when she came on board, I want to say about a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, Charlie.
Yeah, about 18 months now.
Yeah, with our special schools, to just see the opportunities that they've got and make use of the great work that they're doing already. So I have absolutely no doubt that she will have the same impact for our APs. And it also means that Laura and Adam, who are going to be our education ECs, a lot of you will know Laura and Adam already, and again have had some brilliant impact within the schools that they're currently supporting, and so those areas will widen slightly. So what does that look like? So within that, what we've heard from the careers leader survey, from feedback from different careers leaders, from various feedback that we've had from different events, including our conference last year, is that schools and colleges particularly want more support with employer engagement, linking into careers to the curriculum more, particularly through those employers as well. And also helping to navigate the updated benchmark statutory guidance, and thinking about what's going to be happening with work experience within the next couple of years as well. So that's what we've heard from schools and colleges. And so in response, as I say, we have restructured, and we will now have 2 dedicated staff for that employer engagement piece. Our operational hub lead, so that is Carly and a new OHL that's starting in a couple of weeks' time, also have a predominant background within employer engagement as well. So we really do expect to have a lot more focus and tactics around supporting you guys with that employer engagement. And that will include, we piloted a workshop last year, which I know some of you came to, around looking at your school tactics for employer engagement. And there was talk of alumni in there and that sort of thing as well. And so there'll be more of that sort of supporting you with your employer engagement tactics as well. So what does this actually look like? Well, for schools and colleges, what this now looks like is Adam is going to be supporting schools in the north of the county. So that's if you come under, Adam, tell me if I've missed any, that's if you come under the districts of Tendring, Colchester, Braintree, Uttlesford, Epping, Harlow, Chelmsford, Malden, and that they're in the north of the county. And Laura, who's currently supports Southend and Thurrock schools, will be kind of joining the gap in between, basically, and supporting the Rochford, Castle Point and Basildon and Brentwood schools within that team. Charlie, as I mentioned, will be continuing to lead for support for our special schools and also alternative provisions. And following Charlotte and Steph, who both left for fabulous new opportunities, our previous operational hub leads, we have a new operational hub lead that's starting in a couple of weeks' time, who will take over the support for our colleges and the FE COP that comes out of that as well. So what all of this does is it means that it's a much more flexible model. There'll be a much broader range of offers of support from us as well, and it's very much been shaped in terms of what you guys have told us that you want, really. And it will also free up time, particularly to really help you build relationships and sort of peer support between yourselves as well. So that's the main reason for us switching this information piece out of the Careers Leader Network meetings. So this is just some of the support for schools, and you will get essentially a menu of dates and of opportunities coming out to you. But the education team, the education enterprise coordinators, will continue to predominantly do everything through group support. So that will include the Careers Leader Network meetings, the various communities of practice. We still are running our open doors visits. So any of you that were involved in DUP 2 last year, they'll be continuing, and actually we'll open them up to most of the schools within the hub as well. There's going to be Careers Leader workshops, so different work streams on different themes coming through that you'll be able to attend. Compass I'll talk about in just a second, but some Compass clinics. Peer-to-peer reviews. There was 15 schools and colleges that took part in a careers impact system peer-to-peer review last year, and the feedback has been brilliant, and I know those schools and colleges are still supporting each other now, which is really great. So there'll be an opportunity for 50 new schools to join that for this year as well, following on from the really positive feedback of last year. And there's going to be themed CPD based on the Gatsby review focuses, and also I know I saw a few people in the chat that were saying they were new to the careers leader role, and you'll be pleased to know that there'll be an induction series as well for you, so that you can be supported through that. But I suppose just to reiterate, and this comes because we're putting more capacity into the employer engagement piece, it does mean that we that one-to-one support that we've been giving to the schools, or the enterprise coordinator have been giving to the schools, essentially that one-to-one support won't really be there anymore. It'll be much more around group support and supporting you support each other as well. So when you get your menu of opportunities, that sounds very grand, doesn't it? But when you get that come through to you, you're absolutely welcome to participate in anything and everything that's on there. But we won't be particularly chasing you to come and join this. It'll be very much down to you to go, okay, this is what's going to support me with my need this year, and sort of identify the areas of support that you need and sign up to the bits that are most useful for you. And there'll be the typical resource and everything coming out from us as well. And of course, you've got the website and the Careers and Enterprise Company website as well, which has a wealth of information on it, which sometimes perhaps a bit too much to be able to find what you're looking for. But hopefully our website's been streamlined a little bit more over the summer to help with finding what you're looking for. So there's some changes to our team, and I know both Laura, Adam and Charlie, if you don't know them already, will be introducing themselves to you after this webinar as well, so that you've got them for a contact. So the next bit that I just wanted to refresh your memories. I'm sure it's fresh in your memories, but just to run through again,
but yeah, don't
is the
is it urgent?
oh, let me just mute people. Hold on a
Right.
second.
Right.
What Blake Brannan, student name?
There we go.
No, don't know that.
There we go. So yeah, just wanted to refresh your memory really on the Gatsby benchmarks, not on the benchmarks, but on the main themes that came out of the recent review. You'll all know now, I'm sure, that the Gatsby review is now forms part of the statutory guidance for careers education, and these 5 areas were the key themes that came out of it. And I would advise really, or would suggest that rather than thinking about the benchmarks as individuals, because most of you are fantastic with what were the old benchmarks now, think about these themes, because this is where the bigger impact and the longer term impact is going to have. So the 5 themes, careers at the heart of education. So this is it being part of that whole school approach. So whilst sometimes we know it can absolutely feel like you've got the weight of all careers for the whole school on your shoulders, but actually it should be distributed across the school: SLT support, head teacher support, governor support, teachers support, everyone else involved, and having a clear strategy and a clear focus within that. So absolutely would look at that. Inclusion and impact for every young person. We know that it's actually really, particularly if you're in a large school, it's difficult to sometimes think, particularly if it is just you doing careers, to think about every single individual person. But actually, by thinking in terms of, I don't know, a group of young people that are particularly interested in manufacturing, and then what can you do for them, rather than year group sizes or whole school sizes of activities. And also there will be some additional support this year for our mainstream and colleges in terms of supporting those with special educational needs and other areas as well. So there'll be some additional support within that too. Meaningful and varied encounters and experiences was another theme. Some of you that have been doing this for a little while now, you'll know that the word meaningful has been bounded about for many a year, but never actually defined. It is now very much defined within the statutory guidance for both encounters, so mainly around benchmark 5, for workplace experiences around benchmark 6, and also for benchmark 7 and POW experiences as well. And it's really, really clear in there now what is required under that. If you're not sure what they are, then I would absolutely suggest that you take another look at the statutory guidance. What we're absolutely suggesting this year, and for the first step for you to be doing, is to be looking at what do you do already. So don't think I need to reinvent any wheels or anything like that, but what do you do already, and how do you make it meaningful, or meaningful against the new guidance now. And for experiences, so for workplace experiences, if you haven't looked at it already, I would absolutely suggest that you look at the Equalex model. So this is the new model that's been released last year by the Careers and Enterprise Company for a progressive framework for work experience, modern work experience. So, and it really, really helps with looking at what those learning objectives might be for each of the different phases and the different types of things that you might want to include on that. So absolutely have a little look at that Equalex model, and also the meaningful definitions if you haven't already. Focusing on the use of information and data, I'm sure many of you will be very pleased to know that these criteria, one of the criteria is within benchmark 3, I think it was, around collecting progression destination for 3 years after they'd left year 11, has now gone. But what it's been replaced with is a real focus throughout all of the benchmarks on using information that you have. So not just collecting data for data's sake, but then what does that mean? And a great example of that is, I know many of you have done the Future Skills Questionnaire across various different year groups. So there's a great data set, but then what are you doing with it in terms of sort of looking at your strategy? And there will be workshops on how to do that as well, because we know that use of data and information for I kind of think for most people, you either it's a marmite, isn't it? Data and information, you either love it or you hate it, and so we're hopefully try and convert some haters into people that like using it as well. And then finally, the bit that goes through all of the benchmarks in engagement with parents and carers. And again, thank you for some of you came to the parental engagement workshop that we piloted with the Careers and Enterprise Company last year, and we'll be running a similar series this year as well to help support with that too. So in terms of for the Gatsby review, sort of suggestions of calls to action for you is very much focusing on the themes rather than the individual benchmarks. Assess what you have already against that meaningful criteria. For experiences, investigate the EqualX model again to see where that tallies in. It's really helpful for the learning objectives part of the meaningful criteria. And if you haven't done so already, I would absolutely suggest doing an internal leadership review through the careers impact system, so you can do a bit of a deep dive on careers. And we'll put some, oh, thank you. We'll put a link to what that means if you don't know what those acronyms and stuff mean in the chat for you. And the information from this the recording plus the links we're putting in plus the other information will come out in an email to you as well tomorrow, so you've got it for a reference point as well. For compass assessments, obviously the Gatsby benchmarks have been updated, and therefore so do the compass assessment questions need to be as well. So at the moment, if you go onto your Compass platform or Compass Plus platform, you'll see that although you can access your previous school assessments, you can't do a new one. And that's because they're currently updating the questions. So at the moment, you can see what the new questions are going to be. They've been released as a PDF along with some guidance. And we've been told that there's going to be a video that comes out soon as well, which sort of talks you through each question as well and how it might relate to your setting. So at the moment, you can't do a compass assessment against the new criteria. That will be live for you on Compass and Compass Plus after the October half term. So I think it's from the 2nd of November, I want to say, certainly around that time. That will then be live for you to do a compass assessment before Christmas. But you can download that PDF at the moment to see what those questions are going to be. And what I would say is that the results, try not to compare the results that you get from your new assessment after the half term to your previous assessments, because we know the benchmarks have been reviewed, and Department for Education, Careers and Enterprise Company, ourselves, we're all kind of drawing a line under where we was and starting afresh. And that's absolutely what we would suggest you guys as schools are doing as well. They have changed, the benchmarks have been updated. We suspect are going to be harder to achieve, and so therefore very much nationally the expectation is that you're probably not going to be getting the same benchmark results as you did previously. Our education team though, so Charlie, Laura and Adam will be running Compass clinics, that will come from after the October half term. So there'll be drop-in sessions. So if you have any questions, if you want to understand some certain questions or anything like that, then you can absolutely come into one of those drop-in sessions, and the dates and links to those will be sent out shortly. Okay, so moving on to modern work experience. I suppose the first thing that I'd like to say within this is lots of people have been quite panicked over work experience, and we really, our first thing is to say please don't. And I know that's easier said than done, but with modern work experience, yes, it was mentioned within statutory guidance, but we don't actually know what's going to be happening with this 2-week guarantee, this sort of 10 days worth of work experience yet. That's not been decided by the government. So very much what this academic year is looking at what you currently do, making sure it's meaningful and in the right sort of in a progressive manner, and doing a bit of a gap analysis on it so that we're ready for next September to then start building until we reach this 10 days worth of work experience. And as I mentioned, the EqualX model is there, really fantastic, particularly if you're struggling to look at, well, how can I make this progressive across all the key stages? That is a really great model for you to be having a little look at. So this academic year is about getting ready, and I'm gonna raise the elephant in the room, in that we don't know exactly what we're getting ready for yet, because that guidance hasn't been published yet. It's just been hinted at, and we expect the statutory guidance on this to be updated not until probably April or May time. So but hence we're saying don't worry too much about it, but just look at what you're doing at the moment already. So it's about reflecting and preparing rather than starting from scratch. So where are you at the moment? What's working well? What's meaningful? Are there any gaps? Does it reflect real workplace skills and expectations as well? And is it aligned to your student needs, student interests and the curriculum? And absolutely don't reinvent any wheels. So build on what is existing and what's there already. And we will absolutely be running workshops, and there'll be quite a lot of different resources that will be coming out from us, our partners, and from the Careers and Enterprise Company on this as well. But absolutely, first steps, figure out what you've got already. And for some of you, I know you've been working with your curriculum areas because you know that there's a lot that happens within them, but you don't know what it is. So maybe that might be your first step, like what is actually happening within your school, and then do a bit of a gap analysis on it. What we do, however, have is a piece of additional funding and work stream that's come through from the Careers and Enterprise Company, which is a pilot. And so as part of this, we're going to be inviting 15 schools to take part in this work experience pilot this academic year. And it's to look at, essentially it's to look at a challenge or an issue or an area of focus within your school. So it will be guided by the schools and what they particularly want to do. So this isn't we're going to deliver X, Y, and Z into your school. That is not what this is. This is that Maddie is going to work with you as the WEC to really focus in on a specific area for you in the school settings. And this is obviously as a response to sort of the getting ready part for modern work experience. So what's going to be included in this, and there will be full information on this that comes out with the follow-up email to this tomorrow, plus an additional follow-up email to it probably at the end of the week with any questions that we've been asked about it. So if you want to express an interest in being part of this pilot, you will have a dedicated support from Madison, who is our WEC's enterprise coordinator. You'll have access to co-designed frameworks, different planning tools. There's a risk of NEAT tool that's coming through that's going to be part of this programme. We'll have there'll be additional support in terms of employer partnerships and co-designing what work experience placements and virtual experiences might look like. Very much a pilot trialing project really with this, and there will be access to a small pot of funding for each school to just help cover your costs, basically the careers leader time and energy. So it'll be similar to the impact funds if any of you took part in them this year, but much more a supportive programme between us and you guys as schools rather than just the schools running it. So from you, there will be reporting that's needed, so sort of some evaluation, mainly because we're going to use this as sharing lessons learned and good practice and ideas with the rest of the schools within it. You will need to undertake an internal leadership review, so that's part of the Careers and Impact system this year. Compass assessments, which pretty much all of you do termly already. Future Skills Questionnaire for the cohort that is relevant for that you're targeting. And there is a memorandum of understanding that will need to be signed as well, but we'll send that detail out tomorrow in the email. So as I say, tomorrow as a follow-up to this, you'll get sent through the details from this webinar, which will include how to express an interest in being involved in this pilot. We'll need to receive them back from you by February the 17th. Friday the 17th of October, and we'll let schools know if they're part of that in that week after the half term as well, so that we can get going on your projects and programs and supporting you. You'll be pleased I've not got too many more slides. I feel like I've been talking for a very long time now already. It was meant to be a double act between me and Carla. Future Skills Questionnaire. I know a lot of you have already started to implement these in your schools and special schools. Not available to colleges just yet, but it is on the cards coming through soon. Future Skills Questionnaire. If you've not heard of it before, it is a free tool through Compass Plus that is designed to help schools understand career readiness, understand students' employability skills, what pathways they're aware of, what industries they're interested in. And it's all delivered through Compass Plus. So then the results come back through to you guys through Compass Plus as well. And this year alone, so just in what will be the last couple of weeks, we've already had 6 schools that have completed this with some of their students, and I think it was about 300 or 400 students that have completed it so far, just this last couple of weeks, this academic year. As a total over the last couple of years, there's something like 22,000 young people that have completed it. So this is a big, it's really useful for us because we can see what industries young people are interested in, perhaps focus some of our work. But more importantly for you in your schools, it's a data set that you can use that really will help target the work that you're doing, so it will be more impactful. It's available. There's 4 or 5 different questionnaires, I think. One is for year 7s, basically when they're transitioning in. One is for year GCSE transition year, so probably year 9 into year 10, depending on your school. Then there's one again transitioning into Key Stage 5, and then one at the end. And there's also a specific one for special schools as well. And some of the questions, particularly around the industries, are being updated slightly, so it's more friendly, basically a bit easier for the young people to answer, because some of the industries, unless you knew the word, you didn't know the industry, so they're updating some of that slightly as well. But you can then, as schools, as enterprise coordinators, as careers leaders, or anyone else that's registered on Compass Plus from your school, can then see what that data is looking like to then make use of it. So it really helps with targeted interventions, will help support your benchmark 1 and your benchmark 3 as well, in terms of stable careers programs and addressing the needs of each pupil. And you can, for me, I think the planning, so really using that data to plan what your interventions through your careers delivery is going to be, targeting it for the different individual young people or groups of young people, and then reporting back and evaluating the difference that you've made. So let's face it, in turn, hopefully you get there's more support coming through from SLT, from governors, from head teachers. It's a really great evidence piece there as well. And I know there's been the link in terms of support for Future Skills Questionnaire put in the chat there by Adam. So and again, there'll be drop-ins and support throughout the year on how to implement that. Last little bit from me, you'll be pleased to know. So just a reminder that there's the Careers Leader Academy from the Careers and Enterprise Company. If you haven't, it's all completely free. This is online training. And they've recently added quite a few new modules in there, which are really great, actually. They vary anywhere from half hour to 2 hours, so you can pick and choose, and you don't have to do it all in one time. But there's units on there around working with alumni, so building an alumni network to help with your school and employer engagement. There's units on there for SENCOs, for teachers, for governors, for education leaders. There's ones on FSQ, Compass Plus, the Gatsby benchmarks, the careers. There's lots and lots on there now, all completely free. Anyone within your school setting can sign up for this. So I'd particularly encourage you to sort of send information about it over to perhaps your SENCOs, maybe heads of subject department. If you've got SLT or head teacher or governor that is interested in this area as well. So all completely free and easy to access. And then finally is just a reminder about careers leader training. I know in Essex there's been, I think it's about 60 or 70 careers leaders now that have gone through the fully funded careers leader training from the Careers and Enterprise Company. Nationally there's over 4,000 that have done it. and it's open again this academic year for people to join, which is fantastic because I wasn't sure if it was going to be. And there's absolutely no cost to the training for you or for your school or college. You can have more than one person at your school or college that has completed it as well. So it's not just you, or if someone previously has, then you can still do it as well. The data is showing that schools where careers leaders have completed the training progress better and faster against the Gatsby benchmarks, and also are more confident in implementing their strategic plans as well. It's been updated slightly this year, so there's 2 modules. So the first one is the core module. This is suitable for any careers leaders, regardless of your experience or the role that you've got. And then there's also an extension module that you can now access as well, which is designed for those who are either aspiring or currently in sort of a strategic or senior leadership role with regards to careers. So there's 2 options to that now. And it says they're 3 days or 2 days. They're the sort of core learning for it, sort of whether it's in person, online, or hybrid. But then there's additional sort of learning outside of that in terms of guided learning hours. There are lots of different ways that you can do these modules now, whether it's purely online, whether it's face to face, whether it's a hybrid between the 2. There's lots of different ways. There's accredited, non-accredited, essentially depending on how many hours you want to work on assignments for, at various different levels as well. So if you haven't done it, really would suggest that you have a look at it at least. Really simple. So the links there have just been put into the chat by Adam. Thank you. So there's a comparison table of the different providers, and essentially all you need to do is pick your provider, register for it, and then the rest will follow after that. So it's really simple to do. Limited numbers that are funded from the Careers and Enterprise Company, so do it sooner rather than later, I would suggest, if that's an option for you. One other thing to mention on this is we're considering, and it is just a consideration at the moment, in some of the other hubs, so South Midlands, for example, they have run a local cohort. So they've had one of their training providers for this careers leader training and come and do a local one, so that it's people just from our hub, which we're considering doing for you guys as well. So if anyone's interested in doing one that is local to Essex, it will be an in-person, so there'll be 3 days in person plus doing some online training. If any of you are particularly interested in that, then either pop it in the chat or let us know, and then we'll add you to the interested list for when that comes around. So and breathe. So last couple of takeaways from me. So absolutely things that I'd suggest that you're looking at. So evaluate your current work experience program. So don't panic around it, don't do anything, but just look at what you're currently doing, and is it meaningful, essentially, and where are the gaps within it across all your key stages. And when we send out a bit more information about that work experience pilot tomorrow, have a consideration to see if you're interested in doing that. If you haven't done so already, I'd absolutely suggest completing an internal leadership review. And I believe the information about that's been put in the chat, but will also come out to you. So if you haven't done that already, really useful to do. And it completely aligns with the benchmarks, but it kind of just takes you beyond the benchmarks a little bit as well, which is great. Have a little look at your current careers provision against those Gatsby themes. In particular, look at your meaningful definitions, and is there anything where you can tweak or adapt what you're currently doing at the moment. If you haven't done so already, consider looking at Future Skills Questionnaire. It's really great for that use of data and for the whole school approach. You'll also be getting, if you haven't already, some information about Adapt to offer. So these are workplace visits for small groups to different workplaces across the county, and have had really positive feedback last academic year. And not that you can do this yet, but after the half term, you will be able to complete your compass assessment using those new questions. And I say keep an eye out for those drop-in clinics that will be letting you know when they are, so that you can, if you need to, we're here to support for that as well. And next time we kick off, I was right, the 12th of January. That was good, remembering the date on that. So next one of these will be the 12th of January, but obviously there'll be loads of information that comes out from us before then. But we'll pop that into your diary so that you've got it there for the rest of the year. And I will now breathe and stop sharing my screen and ask if you got questions. Was there any that came up in the chat, guys, that we weren't able to answer? Or have I just overwhelmed with words? Nothing that particularly came through. So if you've got a question, either pop it in the chat or pop your hand up, preferably hand up really, so that you can speak out loud to us. But understand you might not want to do that, so do chuck it in the chat otherwise. So let me make sure I'm doing this in order. So Claire, you was up first. What's your question? Hiya.
Hi, all right. Yeah, I just asked about the enterprise advisor role, and they're still a thing, yeah? They're still a
They are absolutely
oh,
still
right,
a
okay.
thing. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
is there any training on how to make the best use of them and or anything like that? Or should I speak to Charlotte about it as the link?
So yeah, so we absolutely can do something on how to make the best use of them. So most of our enterprise advisors now, we tend to partner with schools for a specific project or area of work. So previously, I'm going back quite a few years now, you used to just have this person that was nice to have there and it was lovely, and that was about it really. Whereas now it's very much, you might come to us, Claire, and say, I really want to focus in on evaluating what we currently do for work experience, and then we'll go, great, what sort of skills are you looking for from your enterprise advisor? You'll tell us, or we can work on that together, and then we'll go away, headhunt someone, and then introduce you. And that tends to be how it works now. So rather than it being just, we're just going to match you up sort of thing,
I think
it's
I've got
much
one.
more.
I've got one at the moment, so I'll talk to you separately out of this area.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so definitely have a think about where. I mean, I think I hate the term enterprise advisor because it doesn't really mean anything, does it? But if you think of these volunteers as consultants, basically, so where within your school, particularly around careers, but it could be more wider if you want to look at parent engagement as a wider piece, then that's fine as well. But where would having a free to you consultant be useful, basically, and that's where they can help support. So yeah, but definitely still a thing. And in fact, we fully expect to have more of them on board as well, where we're implementing the employer enterprise coordinators. They're going to bring more employers into the system. So yeah, we're expecting a few more.
Thank you.
No,
Thank you very much.
no worries. Victoria.
Hello. Thank you for that, Hyla. That was really informative. Lots to take on. I had a question about the careers leader qualification. Am I right in thinking that the new Gatsby benchmarks say that somebody in the school has to have a qualification or to be working towards one? Can you tell me what the absolute, not the minimum, but what is the requirement? What level do they have to be qualified to, and are those links that you sent us the right ones to be looking at?
So the links that were put in the chat, absolutely the right ones to be looking at. In terms of there being an explicit level of qualification, that isn't in the statutory, it just says a trained careers leader. But the way that is being interpreted nationally is that someone within your setting has undertaken one of those career, like the CEC careers leader training. So one of those, not necessarily accredited, and there's anything from level 4 to 7, I think, amongst that. Yeah, it's not necessarily that you have to do the accredited version, but that you have someone within your setting has undertaken that training. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, but we've definitely had really positive feedback from the people that have taken it, have done it within some of our schools. The feedback has been really, really positive. And the accredited versions, obviously, so the main difference between the accredited and the non-accredited is it's all the same training. It's just that the non-accredited hasn't got assignments associated with it, really. You do the learning, but not the assignment. So but it's not also non-accredited. So it kind of depends whether you want that qualificate, like that level of qualification at the end, or whether you're happy with the certificate, really.
I suppose if you're doing the same modules, you might as well write the essay and get it accredited.
I mean, that's my thinking, but I also know that everyone's very busy, so they might not have the time to do that. But that would be if I'm putting the effort into that, then for a few extra assignments, I'd rather have the qualification. But yeah, it comes down to the individuals on that one. Have we had any questions in the chat come up? Let me see. So question. Oh, Carly's answered. Oh, Carly, you're on the corner. So Carly's asked the question about whether you're losing, Carly. Yes, you are, but you're also gaining, Adam. So that's great as well. And there will be so amongst all of our team, there's going to be a handover as well. So you won't have to re-go through everything with you. If you are getting a new enterprise coordinator, you won't be needing to redo everything over with them. There will be a good handover for that. We've got a few people interested in local training, so that's fantastic. And some ideas. Thank you, Adam, in terms of ideas for EAs that could be worked on as well for your schools in the chat too. Any other questions or comments or thoughts that anyone's got? Apart from you're not allowed to say that you're running away from the careers leader role. Other than that, any other thoughts? No. Carly, Laura, Charlie, Adam, anything I've missed that you want to add in?
I
I
don't think
mean,
so.
I missed the beginning. I can only apologise.
We
Anybody that
explained
knows
about the power
me
cut, don't worry.
knows how much I will have been fretting and sweating. We had a complete power cut, so I'm going to spend my evening looking at solar panels, I think. But as far as I'm aware now, I think we covered everything that we wanted to, unless there's anything else that anybody thinks.
Hopefully I did your bits justice, Carly. So
I'll watch the recording back and tell you.
Yeah, you can tell me later. You can give me your critique.
The modern work experience pilot, the information's coming out about that. So if anybody anybody wants sort of a casual conversation before submitting an expression of interest, then feel free to reach out, because we can sort of have a chat separately if you want, if that would work.
Absolutely. Great. Well, if there aren't any more questions, then look at that, you've got 9 minutes back of your time. It's not often that happens, is it? Do feel free, as I mentioned, our website has been updated a bit over the summer, so do take another look at that and see all the resources and bits that are on there, like the PAL videos, for example, that have been the link's been put in the chat to it, but there's also the labour market information, posters and bits about careers leader training and benchmarks and everything on there. So there's tons of stuff on there, so do take a look at the website. If you don't follow us already, also follow us on LinkedIn. We put a lot of information, particularly it's quite timely information that goes on there. So as soon as we get something in from, say, an employer that's exciting, we'll pop it on there. So do keep an eye on that as well. And also, if you're posting anything about the great work that you're doing on LinkedIn, do tag us in. So tag in the Greater Essex Careers Hub, because it's absolutely fantastic. Wendy, for example, I love following you on LinkedIn and seeing all the great stuff that you're doing, regardless of you being green. Yeah, absolutely love that. So do tag us in as well, because we really want to showcase all the fantastic work that you're doing as well. So tag us into anything that you're doing there too. But other than that, you'll get your follow-up emails tomorrow. It will include the recording as well, and the other information that we've covered today and all the links that have been put in the chat too. But other than that, hope the start of your term has been fabulous, and we'll speak to you all soon.